Tech heading to Dallas.
It's not what you do, it's what the team does.
The final ticket to Texas.
This is a Wfxr News special presentation. Ticket to Texas. Sponsored by Boone Tractor, K-Card Virginia Gutter Inc., Destination Bedford, Virginia, and Carillion Clinic.
We are live tonight in Dallas, Texas. We want to thank you for sticking with us for this special edition tonight. History in the making. We are talking our ticket to Texas. I'm Kathleen Stone.
And I'm Jermaine Farrell. Kathleen, it's all about the first. The Virginia Tech Hokies want to keep the first going as an opportunity. They'll play LSU. Game will tip off in about 30 minutes. So it's a fun time for everyone. Hokie Nation is in the house as Virginia Tech trying to get something done here. Now, your number one seeded Virginia Tech Hokies are facing off tonight against the number 2 seed and actually the number 3 seed LSU Tigers. Now, the Hokies going for a collective 31-4 the season, with all 4 of those losses coming in conference play. But Virginia Tech has been on a hot streak. They are hot like Oval Redenbacher, hoping to keep a now 15-game win streak going. Tigers faring slightly better with a 32-2 record. And it's the first trip to the Final Four for Virginia Tech, but the Tigers are no strangers to the big dance. This will be LSU's team's 6th trip to the semifinals, but their first since 2008. And the winner will go on to face the winner of South Carolina and Iowa in that matchup for the championship. That game is set for the game after the tip-off of Virginia Tech. So good stuff right then and there.
Listen, the fans are pumped. We have seen them behind us. We have seen them all day long. They are ready for tonight's matchup, and there's a lot to be excited about. This is history in the making.
I know, and this is a historic time when you get this opportunity. You don't have too many opportunities to win a championship, and you got to knock it out of the park right then and there.
Yeah, WFXR's Kelsey Jean-Baptiste is actually joining us live tonight from Blacksburg. Kelsey, we talked about the fans here. I imagine the fans down in Blacksburg are just as pumped.
They are, and right now they're getting super pumped right before tip-off, and I'm actually standing here in the entrance of Mellow Mushroom where fans are just going in and out trying to get a seat to actually eat, and you can see everything is going on. There's people standing right here. Fans that I've talked to today have told me they're excited to see the women's basketball team make it to the Final Four. They say throughout the season the women have shown tenacity and team spirit and believe that is what will take them to get it all the way. Now fans are ready to cheer on these ladies that are having the best season in program history. And we're actually going to be hearing from some of those fans in just a minute, so stick with us. But for right now, live in downtown Blacksburg, Kelsey Jean-Baptiste, WFXR News.
All right, Kelsey, thank you so much. We'll check back in with you in just a little bit. It's so windy out here.
Yeah.
All right, so out of the nearly 350 Division I women's basketball teams, only 4 made it tonight. Obviously, this is a big deal. All of those teams wanted to be in this Final Four. There are a lot of women on these teams who are incredibly talented. There are some really big names. If you were going to say a big player from each team, as I chew my hair,
it's the win.
Yeah, right. Which players would you say from each team? One from each team.
Well, I tell you what, guess what it is, folks? It is Farrell focus time as we look at what's going on right here and there. Now, for the Virginia Tech Hokies, she's been the straw that's been stirring the drink. I'm talking about junior guard Georgia Amore. She's been like Oval Redenbacher, hot butter, popcorn from the start of the ACC tournament until now. She's been getting it done, naming the ACC tournament MVP, helping the Hokies win their first ACC tournament title, and she broke the Hokies program record for assists. She leads the team in 3-pointers. Meanwhile, for the Bayou Bengals of LSU, it's sophomore forward Angel Reese. Reese came to LSU from the University of Maryland, and she does everything in the paint, and she gets stuff rocking and rolling, and she had a 36-point game. But guess what? We are just getting started, Kathleen, here in Big D. Coming up after the break, I'm just going to talk to a man who knows a lot about the LSU women's basketball program. That's our sports director for our sister station in LSU.
Plus, the ladies on the hardwood are not the only ones making history, as head coach Kenny Brooks leads the way with his family by his side. That's all coming up in just 2.5 minutes.
And now, back to Ticket to Texas.
All right, good peeps, welcome back to our Ticket to Texas coverage as we're following the Virginia Tech Hokies in the women's Final Four. Of course, their opponent, a very tough opponent, in the LSU Tigers. That game tipping off in a matter of moments. And we decided, hey, we got to get the perspective of the LSU Tigers. So joining me right now, my man 100 Grand from our sister station down in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, my man Brian Holland. And Brian, I tell you, this is a big-time matchup, Virginia Tech and LSU. I mean, LSU, they got a lot of good stuff. But for what people in our neck of the woods don't know much about LSU, just like maybe break down LSU and tell us some things about them.
Well, Virginia Tech, I thought, would be the favorite in this one, right? They're the 1 seed. LSU certainly not. LSU favored by those wise guys out there in the desert by 1 point. So, you kind of break it down. Actually, I think these two clubs kind of mirror each other very, very well. You've got a low post that averages a double-double, right, on Virginia Tech's side. For LSU, I think she's gotten a lot of the fanfare and a lot of the national acclaim. Angel Reese, a record number of double-doubles in the SEC. So passing up names like Sylvia Fowles on the way means something to LSU fans. So in her first year as a transfer from Maryland, she has really lived up to the billing. That's going to be an interesting matchup, and then I'm really looking forward to that perimeter threat. Also on Virginia Tech's side, but LSU has one too in Alexis Morris.
Of course, you've been mentioning Kim Mulkey. I mean, it's a contrasting coaching styles. I mean, obviously Kenny Brooks, he's kind of a little reserved. He'll be intense when he needs to, but Kim Mulkey is intense. I mean, and then the outfits. I mean, the clothing styles are going to be a little different in this, but just give us a little bit on Kim Mulkey and what she's really meant to this LSU program, because in 2 years she's got them rolling.
I actually like Coach Brooks and what he's kind of said this week, really, and leading up to this game, how really, you get beyond everything else and the outfits that she's going to wear out there. I expect something pretty fire out there for the Final Four. They're both old school coaches. Now, they express it a little bit differently, but they kind of exchange pleasantries on the recruiting trail too, which for a lot of coaches, that does not happen. So it's an interesting kind of relationship, and seeing two different styles work to get here and just kind of being who you are. That's who Coach Brooks is. That's who Coach Mulkey certainly is.
I'll tell you one thing, it is going to be a fun matchup. LSU and Virginia Tech in a matter of minutes, because it's big time. Brian Holland, sister station in Baton Rouge. Is it okay if I say it like that?
That was perfect. That was great.
Is that how y'all say it?
People in South Louisiana are going to love you.
Yeah, there you go. The Bayou Bengals and all the goodies right there. But yeah, it's been a fun time. So Brian, thank you so much. As LSU and Virginia Tech, we are minutes away from this big time matchup down here in Big D.
All right, Jermaine, thank you. David de Guzman joins us now. David, you've really had a special place here on their journey. You've been with them really every step of the way here.
Yeah, for the better part of the last decade. And you know what Kenny Brooks has done with this program since he took over in 2016 is nothing short of outstanding, elevating the program to new heights and producing the winningest season that Blacksburg has ever seen. But this story is really about the family that's played a huge role in creating a moment that's been 7 years in the making.
Flashback to 2016. Kenny Brooks introduced as Virginia Tech's newest head coach, a decision that didn't initially come with unanimous support from his family.
I was fine with it. I didn't hesitate, told him it was time that we needed to go.
But it was Chloe Brooks, the middle daughter of the family, that wasn't on board, at least not at first.
I was really mad, if I'm being so honest. I remember we didn't have school, and I saw somebody, and I woke up and somebody texted me and they were like, oh, your dad's going to Virginia Tech. And I was like, what? I literally called my mom and I was like, where are you guys? And I was so upset because my family's there, my whole life was there.
Showing her maturity about the situation, Chloe came around and supported her dad's decision, seeing the success Kenny was able to build at James Madison.
I remember just looking at him and being like, you deserve this, you've worked so hard.
And she said, I don't want to be the reason that you don't go out and get what you deserve. So she says, I'll go. And when she said that, I just lost it.
The family ended up playing a large part in everything Kenny did at Virginia Tech. A year after Brooks was hired, in 2017, Kenny took Chloe here to Dallas for the women's Final Four, setting up a full circle moment that's set to unfold tonight.
We had a daddy-daughter date. I took her and we watched Mississippi State beat UConn. And never in my wildest dreams, I wish I could tell you guys, I told her that we were going to be here one day. I didn't. because that's how hard this is to do it.
It may not have been a Hollywood-written script, but the reality of Virginia Tech's historic season has been far better than anyone in the Brooks household ever imagined.
The way it all panned out is the way it needed to be panned out, and like God has a plan and just stick to it, and this is where we are now, and I'm so proud of him and proud of the team.
And the family is soaking it all in.
I'm not really a stop and smell the roses person because I'm always on the go, like with whatever's going on. So when he said it this time, I was like, all right, let's do that.
So it's just really helped our culture, incorporating my family into everything, and it's helped me become a better father. I've had more dinners at the dinner table with my kids since I've been at Virginia Tech than I ever imagined having at James Madison.
Kenny Brooks establishing a winning culture where family comes first. And Kathleen, I can say for myself that I've had the Kenny Brooks from my days in Harrisonburg to what he's been.
You get to watch your daughter out there. First and foremost, how does it feel to be able to see her playing in a Final Four?
Absolutely amazing, a dream come true. You know, like we've talked about it ever since she's been, 5 years old. Like, kid, you really have something special. Let's make it happen. And she's like, okay, she believed in it and worked hard, and here we are.
And I know that it's kind of interesting. They're playing a team that you know very well. You played on this squad. I mean, is it kind of surreal that this is happening, that the Hokies are meeting up with the Tigers, something that you know a lot about?
Very much surreal. When I seen the matchup, I was like, oh no, I would have rather meet them in the championship game, but I wish them the best. But of course, we got to cheer the Hokies on.
What was it kind of like? I mean, growing up and with having Kiana and your family and everything like that. Did you put them in the LSU gear? Be honest with me. Did you do that, or was it kind of like, hey, they picked with who they wanted and they kind of rocked with it?
I mean, I did a little bit, but I basically told them this is your journey. I want you to do what you want to do and what's best for you. So.
And one of the things that I talked to both Ashlyn and Kiana about, they spoke so highly of you. The amount of love and the amount of sacrifice. If I'm not mistaken, Ashlyn talked about the fact that you kind of gave up your career for these young ladies to be able to succeed, and that was one thing that really kind of hit me. And if you don't mind talking a little bit about that, I mean, sacrifice is what parents do, and you're the epitome of that, correct?
Well, thank you. I would totally do it all over again. I did cut myself short, but it's everything happens for a reason, and I would do it over 100 times. And I've put my faith in them, and they've put their faith in me, and we've taken it day by day, and here we are.
All right, stick with us. Our Ticket to Texas special continues. Coming up after the break, we're going to have an update on game time. Plus, we're going to have some post-game forecasts. That's coming up in just a few minutes.
Now, your most accurate pinpoint weather forecast.
Good evening. Before we go back to Dallas, let's take a quick look at what's going on here at home. We've got some temperatures in the 50s across the region. They'll remain fairly stable overnight tonight with a southerly flow. Some scattered showers going on right now. Showers are likely with increasing wind working our way through the night. We've got the southerly flow, and the wind will be kicking up in the evening hours, 20 to 25 miles an hour. But the big deal is going to be tomorrow. We have wind warnings and advisories in effect beginning at 8 o'clock in the morning. Potential for 55 to 65 mile an hour wind gusts. That'll be through the day tomorrow night into the overnight hours and the pre-dawn hours of Sunday. Here is the high wind warning. It's in effect, includes the Roanoke Valley, Buchanan, Lexington, into Floyd and Pulaski. Again, 55, 65 mile an hour wind gusts here. We have a wind advisory that includes Danville into Lynchburg, 45 to 50 mile an hour wind gusts in this vicinity. And these wind gusts are really going to be kicking up, and you can actually see, look at the vortices here, how it's going to be following the cold front as it pushes on through. You'll see this nice line right here. Wind gusts in Roanoke tomorrow afternoon, 56 mile an hour wind gusts. Blacksburg, could happen, 63 mile an hour wind gusts taking place tomorrow afternoon and evening. We're going to continue to see that all through the day tomorrow, and the temperatures are going to be kind of warm. We'll be reaching up into the 70s by the afternoon hours. We'll have more pinpoint weather, of course, for you online and this evening at 10. Let's get back into the basketball.
All right, welcome once again to Dallas, Texas, as we prepare for the Hokies to take on LSU. And as much excitement as there is here in Dallas, I imagine Blacksburg is just as pumped.
You ain't kidding, Kathleen. Hokie Nation is pumped up here, but definitely in Blacksburg. And guess where we're going to go? We're going to go to Blacksburg and check in on our very own Kelsey Jean-Baptiste. She's going to hook us up with the sights and sounds from Blacksburg.
Yeah, guys, the sight here is crazy. Actually, look at, I'm standing in front of Mellow Mushroom, right in front of the entrance. People have been going in and out all night, getting ready to hype up the Hokies and wish them all the luck in the entire world. They say tonight is a monumental game and just shows how amazing their success and teamwork has been throughout the season. A couple of the fans I spoke to just started smiling the minute I asked them what would they say to them before the big game.
Hey, women's basketball team, just want to let you guys know that the whole city of Blacksburg behind you guys with the game tonight, and go get them.
Go kill it. You guys have been crushing it, and we're all so proud of you. Like, I am just so beyond proud and so excited for you guys to make it this far.
Fans say if the women keep up the energy and teamwork, there will be no issues tonight on the court. And I'll have more of that fan reaction for you later tonight on First at 10 in downtown Blacksburg. Kelsey Jean-Baptiste, Wfxr News.
Kelsey, thank you. We have gone from days to hours and now minutes. We are minutes away from tip-off.
That's what. Do not change that channel. We're going to put a bow on this ticket to Texas. History in the making coming up on the other side.
And good evening, I'm Tab O'Neill, and for John Carroll, real quick look. Once again, we have some wind advisories and high wind warnings in effect for tomorrow. But in this, we've got the high wind warning that covers Roanoke Valley all along the I-81 and Blue Ridge corridor into West Virginia. And for the Lynchburg area and Danville, we have the advisory. The difference being in the warning area, 55 to 65 mile an hour wind gusts. In the advisory area, 45 to 50 mile an hour wind gusts. We have what's being described as a catastrophic tornado outbreak taking place in Arkansas. Now moving into Tennessee. We'll have that tonight as well. With WFXR News First to 10.
Praying for safety there, Tab. Beautiful weather down here in Dallas. Fans are they're so hyped, and they've been packing this outside area. They're packing into the building as well.
I tell you what, this is a fun time. The Hokies trying to get it done, trying to keep that streak, make it a Sweet 16 streak, as we are just minutes away from LSU and Virginia Tech. And I'm going to call it right now. It's going to be a win for the Hokies. They're going to play in that championship game on Sunday, and it's going to be a fun time for the Hokies.
Now listen, I'm no expert, but the folks in the elevator, the folks on the street, basically the randos I've chatted with, they all say that Virginia Tech is 100% going to beat LSU. That's what they've all been saying. They don't think they have a chance. Obviously, we hope they're right.
And what's crazy is that when I was talking to Brian Holland, LSU's a slight favorite, which is blowing your mind when you're a number one seed and you're the underdog. But the Hokies have played the underdog role all year, Kathleen, and they're going to use it to their advantage, and they're going to rock and roll with it. But guess what? That's going to do it for us right here in Dallas, because coming up tonight at 10, we're going to have highlights. We're going to have a wrap-up of this game. It's going to be fun times, and we're going to call a Hokie victory.
Yes, and of course, since we're just a few minutes away from the game, we'll leave you with one final. You ready, Jermaine?
Yes.
Go
Hokies!
Have a good night. We'll see you all at 10.